मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तवम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पदमानः शृण्वन् भूतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। नारद उवाच. So before we start chanting the Sankatanashana Ganesha Stotram, we have to do the Sankalpam. Okay, please hold your hands like this and pray. Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Ajnana Mohanashanam Sankatanashana Stotram Karishye. Om Narada Uvacha Pranamya Shirasa Devam Gauri Putram Vinayakam Bhaktavasam Smaren Nityam Ayuh Kamartha Siddhaye Pratamam Vakkatundam Cha Ekadantam Dvitiyakam Tritiyam Krishna Pingaksham Gajabhadram Chaturtakam Lambodaram Panchamam Cha Shashtham Vikatameva Cha Saptamam Vignarajam Cha Dhumravarnam Tathashtamam नवमं बालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेन्नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Let's chant Gita Dhyana Shlokam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayiniim Ambatvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad-gīte bhavadveshiniim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Phullāravindāyatapatra netra Yena tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradīpaha Prapanna Parijātāya Totra Vetraikapānaye Jnanamudraya Krishnāya Gītāmritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Togdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gītāmritam Mahate Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tata Jayadrata Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrāhavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashthama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vachas Sarojamamalam Gītārtha Gandhotkatam Nānākhyānaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpatairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamshina Shreyase Mūkam Karoti Vācāram Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थितपत्तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः. Om. We should have chanted Guru Stotram before this, but never mind, we'll chant it now. Guru Stotram should have been chanted. We'll chant now. Iti Guru Stotram. Yeah. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sthavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yatkinchit Sacharacharam Tatparam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Vyapi Yat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sarva Shruti Shiro Ratna Virajita Padam Bujaha Vedantam Bujasuryo Yaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Shashvata Shanto Vyomatīto Niranjanah Bindunādakalatīta Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnana Shakti Samarūಢah Tattvamālā Vibhūshitah Bhukti Mukti Pradātā Ca Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Aneka Janma Samprāpta Karma Bandha Vidāhine Atmajnana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shoshanam Bhavasindhoscha Jnapanam Sarasampadaha Guroh Padodakam Samyak Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Na Guroradikam Tattvam Na Guroradikam Tapaha Tattvajnanat Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mannath Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguruhu Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gururadiranadischa Guruh Paramadaivatam Guruh Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Brahma Anandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Okay, right. We are going to chapter 2. We'll chant from verse number 11. Before you do that, let's offer a prayer to Krishna. Kataksha Kirana Chanta Naman Mohabdaye Namaha Anantananda Krishnaya Jagan Mangala Murtaye. Krishna, I surrender to you. I'm helpless. Give me Shreya, give me Atma Jnana. Next prayer is Ahamasmi Sadhabhami Kadachinnahamapriyaha Brahmaivahamata Siddham Satchidananda Lakshanam. This is what we will get at the end of Bhagavad Gita. Satchidananda Lakshanam. You will know for yourself for sure. Okay. Okay. Let me open Bhagavad Gita. Gita chapter 2, verse 11 onwards. Okay, let's chant. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Chant with me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Slow. We will chant it slowly so that you are able to get all the verses by heart. Ashochanan Vasochastvam Pragyavadanscha Bhashase. Chant with me. Ashochanan Vasochastvam Pragyavadanscha Bhashase. Gatasuna Gatasunscha Nanushocanti Panditaha. Gatasuna Gatasunscha Nanushocanti Panditaha. Whole verse. अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासूनगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. Verse number 12. Chant with me. नत्वेवाहं जातु नासं नत्वं नेमे जनाधिपा नत्वेवाहं जातु नासं नत्वं नेमे जनाधिपा न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परं न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परं. So together, नत्वेवाहं जातु नासं नत्वं नेमे जनाधिपा न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्. The next one. देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा कौमारं यौवनं जरा. Together. देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. Whole verse. देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. So we have done 12, 13, 14. We will 12, 11, 12, 13. We will go into 14. So before we go into 14, a quick recap. We should always be very clear about what is our purpose, what is the goal that we hope to achieve by studying Bhagavad Gita. Okay. The Bhagavad Gita was taught to Krishna in the battlefield, indicating that it is meant for you and me because we are virtually in a battlefield every day. We have to handle pressures. All of us have to handle pressures. It is not a drawing room lecture. It is not something which will listen and say, oh yeah, I am able to appreciate all this. It is not meant for the purpose. It is meant for us to actually get it into our system. It should transform our lives. Bhagavad Gita should transform your life. Okay, once in the past I would have told you Bhagavad Gita is an undergraduate thing. Then we go to the graduate course, which is Upanishads. Then we go to postdoctorate, postgraduate and things like that, where we study Brahma Sutra. Undergraduate means don't take it lightly, okay? The undergraduate doesn't mean like it can change your life. These 700 verses, not just can rewrite your destiny. But who will rewrite your destiny? You alone can rewrite your destiny. God cannot rewrite your destiny. But remember, we can rewrite our destiny. If we decide to make changes here, the destiny can be rewritten. Take my word, you can do it. People have done it. Arjuna did it. Before him, so many people did it. Many I know have done it. And to a large extent, I have been benefited by the teaching of great Mahatmas. It can rewrite your life. Okay. So before we actually go further into this, I want to do a little bit of reaffirmation. What is it that we are exactly seeking in life? A lot of people, young, old, middle age, there are so many people here. Let's be very, very clear. What is it that we are seeking in life? Okay, on the two sides we have Artha, Kama, Dharma. On this side we have Moksham. Artha is material benefits. Kama is entertainment, sense of security. Dharma is moral values, ethical behavior. In and through Artha, Kama, Dharma, we are actually seeking moksha. Okay. Moksha is freedom from the sense of want. All of us want something in life. We are not comfortable being a wanting person. So actually, the struggle is to be free from being a wanting person. I am a wanting person because there is something lacking inside me. There is a vacuum. And I am not comfortable with vacuum. Because by nature, I am full. I am a whole person. This is my nature. This being my nature, I cannot stand a vacuum. We have never been told in your life that you are a full person. People have said moksha, they would have said, no, moksham you will get only after your death or something like that. Okay? So if moksham were to be available to me only after death, why be born in the first place? I born, live, die, and then moksham will come to me later. Why be born in the first place? Okay? Now suppose somebody tells you moksham will come to you after death. What is the guarantee? Has anybody come back from death and told you, yes, yes, after death I got moksha? Whereas suppose I tell you, why no, it's not me telling, it is Krishna tells you, the Guru tells you, the Parampara tells you that you are, it is not saying you will get to moksham. Okay, not talking about you getting moksham. Moksham is not an event which will happen in time. Moksham is a reality. Total emotional independence is not something you will have in time. I am using total emotional independence equal to moksha. Total emotional independence is not something that you will have in time. It's a reality which is already with you. You just have to do a paradigm shift and discover that reality. It's a self discovery. It is not achieving, reaching anywhere. Because if you can reach, you can always get away. If you can get to something, it can get away from you. It's a reality which you have to know. It's a reality which is knowledge. It happens here. That's why in very many photos, they will say, a jnani will be shown with a halo around his. We will not get halos and all. Knowledge can take place only in the buddhi, not in your hand or something like that. So that's how the halo is a sign of enlightenment. So we should be very clear. What is it that we are seeking in our life? We are seeking total emotional independence. A lot of us cannot possibly relate to that term because we are not even relatively emotionally independent. Why talk about total? So let us try and simplify it. In my lifetime, I would like to be peaceful from inside. I would like to enjoy a lot of inner peace. It doesn't matter how much artha I have. It doesn't matter how much entertainment I have. It doesn't matter how much dharma I have done. It matters to me, very important. It matters to me. I must have inner peace. Agreed? All of us, without exception, I must have inner peace. As hairs become gray, we understand inner peace much better. Youngsters will take a little more time understanding inner peace, challenges and all motivate you. Never mind, you can go for your challenges. But you are, as you, I would not say as you grow, as the inner emotional maturity happens, as your emotional maturity happens, you understand that it's inner peace that you really want in life. I want inner peace. I want harmony. Okay. And for this purpose, I also want to have good health. When I say good health, there are three parts of the good health. I must be in good physical health. I must be in good mental health. Third, I must be in good financial health. So, Artha Vandarcha, I must be in good financial health. Okay, I must have good mental health. I must have good physical health. Okay. Third, very, very important, we should have the right kind of people to associate with. Satsangam. Okay. Let me take something which happened a few days ago. It was reported to me, and after listening to all this, I have now stopped counseling and things like that. So there was a family in which, like it happens in so many families these days, and it's been happening to very many families, and it's happening to a lot of people. There is naturally a clash. Okay, they have lived together for quite some time. There's a clash, and they approach various people. They approach the girl's parents. They approach the boy's parents. Naturally, there is another circle called friends. Okay, coming under various clubs and things like that. Clubs named after animals and things like that. I want to see a single animal which names its club after us, but we want to name our clubs after animals. So, clubs, associations. Now these days we have this is a great disease, social group. Everybody puts their personal problem here. So we have so many people advising. What's the advice? If he's treating you bad, you should separate. Okay. If he's treating you bad, you should separate. Who are the parents are advising? No, if he's treating you bad, separate. Okay. So after listening and reading a little bit of Gita, I had a small change in thinking. Somebody said, "What's your advice?" I said, "First, forgive me. I am not going to give advice." Krishna did not advise Arjuna. Okay. When he said, "I don't want to fight," he said, "You should fight." But when he said, "I don't know what to do, I'm helpless," Krishna didn't advise. He gave him Atma Jnana. And at the end of 18 chapters, at the end of the 18th chapter, what does Krishna tell Arjuna? He says, "I have told you what I have supposed to say. Now you do what you think is fit. You decide what is good for you and do. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. You do what is fit for you." That should be it. Krishna has advised like this. Who am I and who are you, all of us, to tell them you should do this, you should do this. You do what you think is fit. Krishna says this. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. And how does a student reply? Student says, Nashto moha smritir labdha. All my confusion is long gone. I've got clarity. Tvat prasadan mayachyuta. Hey Achyuta, because of your prasada, I have got all this knowledge. Karishye vachanam tava. Whatever you have told me, I will do. And then what did Krishna say? Do your dharma. Do what is fit and proper. That advice. That is Krishna's advice. That's how we should advise. If anybody comes to you for advice, you can tell them, do what you have to do to correct the situation. You correct. Prayers. You can tell them a lot of prayers. Yeah, if you still want to advise, say, if I were you, I would do this. But then you decide. Okay, very beautiful piece of advice. Because what happens, we will see as we go on. You advise somebody something. Okay. And that person takes your advice and does this, what you have said. Okay. Now, because of your decision, let's say a family is affected. You have changed the destiny of one family. How many members are there in the family? And how will their karmic account, all their karma account, how will it be impacted? Will not some balance also be transferred to you? Whether you ask or not, do using your Google Pay, like the karma pay, something will come to your account also. Why unnecessarily invite karma into your account? Add to your baggage. That's why we say, Kataksha Kirana Chanta, this moha should go. All your advice comes only because of all this moha and things like that. Moha should go. Let's not have moha. Even Krishna has advised Arjuna very carefully. He has only said, Atma Jnanam, I will give you Atma Jnanam. Ashocha Nanvasochastvam. You are grieving over things which do not deserve grief. Okay, yet you talk like a wise man. So we saw that verse. Then we saw Natve Vaham Jatunasam, in which we saw from three different angles. We saw from the philosophical angle, we saw from the practical angle, we saw from the ethical angle how it was Arjuna's dharma to take up arms against adharma. And we also saw there Krishna telling Arjuna, you think you are the only fellow who has these problems? You think you are the only fellow who will have these problems? Past, future, these kind of problems will keep repeating. Look at the world. Helen of Troy, what was the war for? Somebody abducted a woman. What was Ramayana for? Abduction. What was Mahabharata for? Usurping property. Okay, so it has always been, these things will keep happening. Yuga after yuga, yuga after yuga, these will be happening. Don't think you are the first victim. Don't look at life with victimhood attitude. So that was Natvevaham Jatunasam. Then came the words, Dehi nosmin yatha dehe, Kaumaram yauvanam jara, Tatha dehantara praptihi, Dhirastatra namuhyati. He says, this is a costume. Okay. And the teacher took you to Atma. He says, do you know your body? Yes, all of us know our body. Without exception, we know our body. And we all, our language also we use. Vadamba sarila. Tabiyat theek nahi hai. In Bengali, we say shorir kharab. In any language, you say sharir kharab. I am okay, body is not okay. So you have been able to objectify the body. When you are able to objectify the body, you are what? Subject. Object, subject. Object, subject. The only thing difference is between this object and this object is you know this object intimately. In fact, there are so many people who have taken this object so intimately that if it falls down, they say, "Ayyo, poch." They prefer they fall down and break, but this may be saved. So you have taken the object, you know this object intimately. So intimately, the body's size is your size. The body's color is your color. Okay, the body's age is your age. You have got to know it so intimately. You know the body intimately. Because you know the body, you cannot be the body. You cannot be. If there is an object, the subject has to be different from the object. The subject and object cannot be one and the same. The object has to be different from the subject. You, the subject, are different. Do you know your thoughts? Yes. You know all your emotions. So I am different from the body. I am different from my thoughts. To know that you are different from your body and you are different from your thoughts, you don't have to have an out-of-body experience. Okay? There are some people who had an out-of-body experience. So out of body experience, how will you have? That means something has to leave you. What is the guarantee it will come back here? So it is all risky. Doesn't make sense at all. You don't have to have an out of body experience. To see the sunrise, sunset, and understand that the sun doesn't rise and sun does not set. You don't have to have an out of globe experience. To know twinkle, twinkle, little star, know that the star does not twinkle, nor does it little. You don't have to go near the star to see. Insightfully, you can see. In fact, you are so clear about it. That way, in the same manner, to know that you are not the body, that you are not the thoughts, you don't have to have an out of body experience. Insightfully, you can know. Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Jara. During youth, this costume was different. During just before the middle age, it's called the peak age, from the age of 26 to 41. They say the peak age. After 41, depreciation starts. How do you know it starts? The gray hairs will start appearing. 40 means you are halfway mark over. So, you know that age. Jara, you know your old age. So, you know the changes happening to the body. Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Jara. Who is the knower? I am the knower. Extending the same logic, the teacher says, Tatha Deha Antara Praptihi. Okay. So, somebody said, then what's your date of birth? So, we give the date of birth. Where were you before that? Okay, where was I before that? I was in my mother's womb. How long? 273 days. And where were you before that? Did you come from non-existence to existence? Where is the apple in the seed? It's inside the seed. How did it go inside the seed? How did it come out of the seed? So we don't say this is all infinite loop and there's nothing like that. They say, before I was born, before my mother conceived me in her uterus, in her womb, I was in an unmanifest form. I was not manifest in this form. I was there. I means I consciousness was there, but I was not manifest in this form. We also saw last week how there are three bodies. I told you B1, B2, B3. Recall? Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. Sukshma and Karana Sharira are always together. Sthula Shariram is separate. Then Sthula Shariram is no longer fit enough to do the business of Sukshma Shariram and Karana Shariram. These two Shariram will drop the Sthula Shariram. And that is called the death of the Sthula Shariram. See, very often you see, in Indian newspapers, they will write, so and so died on such and such a day, passed away on such and such a day. His mortal remains will be cremated on such and such a day. What is the meaning of mortal remains? Is that means there is something immortal? Why don't you say he will be cremated? We never say he will be cremated. His mortal remains will be cremated or buried or whatever on such and such a day. That means there is one portion, the B2 and B3, which did not die with the body. So here when he says, when the indweller moves from one costume to another, he is not talking about the Atma moving, he is talking about the Jiva, B2 and B3 moving. So what happens at the time of death? Let's quickly go through. This Sharira will fall. When the B2, B3 leave, this Sharira will fall. B2, B3 has something like it carries all my thoughts, my desires, everything is carried in the B2, B3. The B2, B3 also has what is called a reflecting medium. Okay, it reflects the Atma onto the B1. Okay, how does it happen? Let's say during the sunlight, you put a bucket of water there. The sunlight hits the bucket of water, the reflection hits the wall. Is that a separate sun? No, it's only a reflection. It is not even real, it's only a reflection. There is a reflecting medium which has reflected the sun's rays onto the wall. Now imagine the sun's rays which was reflected onto the wall got an individuality. He starts feeling that aham, so and so. I am a small reflection. I am a big reflection. And that Surya is, oh God, Ishvara. It's as though got a certain individuality. The individuality is not real. But as long as the individuality is not real, is not known, it is called ajnanam. And because of the ajnanam comes moha, confusion. What is the confusion? I don't know I am Paramatma. So I've taken myself to be small Atma, Jivatma. And all the Jivatma's problem have become my problem. And the Jivatma, okay, B2, B3, will keep moving from costume 1 to costume 2 to costume 3 to costume 4 in its entire journey till today. We have all traveled Janmas and Janmas and Yugas and Manvantaras and Kalpas and have reached this position. In this position, you have an opportunity. Krishna comes and tells you, you are not B1, B2, B3. You are not even the reflected consciousness. You are the original consciousness. And when you realize you are the original consciousness, the individuality attached to the reflected consciousness goes away. Oh, it's only a reflection, man. Free. You are that individual total. You have identified with the total. I am not reflected. I am the original. This takes time. Okay, it will not happen overnight, but this will be taught to you. So, tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatrana muhyati. You can take it in two ways. One is as Atma, nothing happens to me. As Jivatma, costumes have to be changed. These days, they are marketing. Like you have to change your mobile every so many years. You have to change your laptop. Okay, you have to change. Now they have even started saying change your car every 5 years. Okay, now they say change your car every 5 years. The only thing you can't change is I don't want to get into all this. Okay, there are certain things and certain people you can't change. Western countries are perfectly okay changing what they don't like. Here we don't change so many things. Okay, so tata dehantara praptihi dhiras tatrana muhyati. Now, the teacher talked about the nature of Atma. What is the nature of Atma? The nature of Atma is Aham Satyam, Aham Jnanam, Aham Anantam, Aham Anandam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Brahma, I am big. So all the absolutes are the nature of Atma. I am a peaceful being. I am a conscious being. I am a totally peaceful being. I am a loveful being. I am a whole being. I lack nothing. Okay. Anything that you can think of, whole is me. So, what is the nature of Anatma? Everything that is not me is Anatma. What is the nature of Anatma? Anantam is Atma. What is Anatma? Santam, that which has an end. Okay? So, Anantam, Santam. This is limitless Ananda. This is limited Ananda. There are joys and pleasures. We have also seen the nature of the Anatma. What is the nature of Anatma? All the Artha Kama, Sukha, Dukkha, Mishra Tattvam. It will always come combined. Sukha and Dukkha will always be together. Then Atripti Karam, you will never get full satisfaction. and bandakaram, it is addictive. This is the nature of anatma. So, and we are dealing in the world of anatma. When you are dealing in the world of anatma, how will life be? Okay, so we go to verse number 14. Let's read verse number 14. Let's chant verse number 14 together. Okay. Okay. Ready for verse number 14? Yeah. Matra sparshaastu kaunteya. Matra sparshaastu kaunteya. Shitoshna sukha dukkhada. Shitoshna sukha dukkhada. Whole line. Matra sparshaastu kaunteya. Shitoshna sukha dukkhada. Second line. Agamapayino nityaha. Agamapayino nityaha. Tan stitikshasva bharata. Tan stitikshasva bharata. Whole line. Agamapayino nityaha. Tan stitikshasva bharata. Now let's chant the whole verse. मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमापायिनो नित्याः तान् स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. So together, let's chant. मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमापायिनो नित्याः तान् स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. Okay. Now, we have sense organs. Okay. Sense organs. We have eyes, ears, nose, the skin, the tongue. They're all sense organs. The tongue is a sense organ, is also an organ of action. These are the 5 sense organs. Knowledge of the world enters into my system through these sense organs. Okay? Okay, that's what he's saying in the first quarter. Matra. Okay, matra. Sparsha, touch. When the sense organs touch the object, some sensations happen inside me. Kaunteya, O Arjuna, Arjuna son of Kunti, O Kurande, O young boy here, please understand. You experience the world through your sense organs. And when you experience the world through your sense organs, what happens? You have 4 types of sensations. Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha. At the B1 level, you have Shita, Ushna. At the B2, B3 level, you have Sukha, Dukkha. While Shita, Ushna is common to all, Sukha, Dukkha is different. The Sukha, Dukkha happens to you because of your samskara, your prarabdha karma. Okay, so he says, by contact with the sense organs, with the sense objects, you have sensations called Sukha, Dukkha, Shita, Ushna. Right? Anything that you have. So you have purchased your new car. What happens? What physical pleasure you got? Sukha. You got a lot of Sukha. Okay. Then, so you bought a good car. Like I think I must have told you a couple of weeks ago. Once, I was driving along OMR somewhere. And I was in one of those Kataras, old cars. And what happened was, there was a small mini van in front which braked. So the car in front of just behind that van, that also braked. My car also braked. And when I braked, a car hit me from behind. I hit the car in the front. So I was hit on both sides. And the car behind me was also hit on both sides. So I just looked at the damaged old car and get the insurance claim. But when I looked behind, I felt really sad. It was a BMW. Okay. And the fellow was going to deliver it to the owner. Okay. So what happened? He had a lot of sukha. I have BMW delivery today. Not like all those good days, Rahu Kalam, all those columns seen. But when the car is going to reach home, what is going to happen? Dukkha. So look how the dukkha, see, a car got dashed from both ends. Now suppose this fellow was driving and then he saw this happen, like I am driving, I saw this happen. What did I feel? I feel empathetic. And I had some work to do. I went. The another fellow would have said, so see, his car got sad, somebody got sukham also. But look at the dukkham of this person who bought a new car, good one, spending 48, 50 lakhs, buys a car, new car. What is the thinking? His wife will say, apashakunam. The car is coming for delivery. We did puja. We are bringing home. This car is apashakunam. Okay. So all kinds of that dukkham. So shita ushna. So looking at the car, you have dukkham. Then sometimes you get hurt. You get hurt. You have a physical hurt. That is ushnam. Okay. Shita is pleasure. So you get physical pleasure. You get physical pain. It happens. It always happens. What happens? You're in your new BMW car. You're shutting the door. And you shut the door against your fingertips. What happens? Nirta dukkham. Pain has come. The pain has led into dukkham also. So, matra sparshastu kaunteya shita ushna sukha dukkhada. Any experience in this world happens because of contact of the sense organs or of the remnants of the contacts of the sense organs. Let's go to your dream state. Okay. Some people say, sir, dream, where are my sense organs? These sense organs are not there. But the dream sense organs are there. This nose is not working. But there is a dream nose which is working. And it picks up exactly the same scent that you picked up now. See, the dream nose will not come and say a fragrance is smelling foul. Foul will be foul there also. The dream nose, the dream I see. The dream ears hear. The dream hands do things. Everything happens. Do you feel dukkham there? Yes. Do you feel sukham? Yes. Lot of sukham. Appa, what could not happen in this world happened there. But wait till the dream ends. You wake up and say, oh my God, I wish I dreamt a little longer. Sometimes when bad things happen, you say, oh my God, nightmares are happening. Shita, Ushna, Sukha. Any experience in this world will produce Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha. Now, what is the nature of this? Agama apayi. It will come, it will go. The worst of dukkham will go. The worst of pains will go. The best of sukham has to go. The best of pleasure has to go. At some point of time, they have to go. When pleasure goes, it creates dukkham. When pain comes, it creates dukkham. When pleasure comes, it creates sukham. When pain goes, it creates sukham. These combinations will keep happening. Will keep happening. See, it's something like this. All of us say, oh, somebody is having an illness. Okay, he saw so many doctors, nobody could cure him. Finally, he went to a doctor and the doctor cured him. What do we say? Kairashi doctor. That Kairashi doctor must have been a non-Kairashi doctor for another fellow who got your first doctor who cured his illness. So this is how the world functions. Agama apayi. Agama apayi. So how should I handle this word? Tans titikshasva bharata. Titiksha means Some people say put up. We will see now how to put up. At the first level, you put up, you tolerate it. Okay. Then, as you become a qualified student of Vedanta, very important, careful. As you become a more qualified student of Vedanta, you will be going through a 6-step process of eligibility standards development. As you raise the bar of your eligibility standards, as you raise the bar of your eligibility, you will go through 6 steps. First step is called Shama. Okay, Sha, Dantasha. There are 3 stars: Dantasha, Murdhanyasha, and Talabhyasha. So this is Dantasha. Okay, so Dantasha, Shama. Shama means Mano Nigraha. Mano Nigraha means mastering, controlling the mind. Let's put a better word, mastering the mind. How to master the mind? At some point of time, I'll take you through meditations and things like that. Maybe in a couple of sessions, we'll start. We're doing online meditations and things like that. I'll tell you, we'll work on how to bring a semblance of control. And I hope in due course, we will get a lot of control. A lot of discipline is necessary. Okay. So, Shama. Shama is Mano Nigraha. We start with mind control, and over a period of time, we gain mastery over my ways of thinking. Not just mastery over the mind, mastery over the ways of thinking. That means I start thinking from the Atma. Aham Purnam. I lack nothing. Okay. I am a wise being. I have wisdom. I don't lack love. If this is your thought, if this is the platform from which your thoughts are flowing, but suppose somebody doesn't treat you properly, at the initial, you will say, okay, okay, that is one form, lower form of titiksha. As you grow in Shama, mastery over the ways of thinking, what will you do? Looking at it from a standpoint, we don't know what he is going through. You don't know what is his sanskara. His intentions are good, but we don't know what samskara the intentions are feeling filtered through. Therefore, I no longer get annoyed with the person. I don't get whatever he does, I don't get disturbed. Situations, events, people lose their capacity to bite into me. They cannot sink their teeth into my system. That is Shama, mastery over the ways of thinking. There are certain thought processes which I will not entertain at all. It is a level of Shama, raising the bar. Okay, raising my bar. There are so many people. Amazing. I've seen some Mahatmas. I read a story today which brought tears to my eyes. There was a Mahan. The Mahan lives, maybe his body is not with us. Kanchi Mahan in Kanchipuram. There was a lady who went to him. And looking at him, this lady broke down and cried. So a lot of people tried to stop her. Kanchi Mahan said, let her do what she wants to do. Don't stop her. So this lady cried first, and then she said, I am 70 years old and I don't have much life to live. I had one hope in life, a son of mine, about 40 years old, only son. I thought on my death, he will do all my last karmas and things like that. Unfortunately, 1 month ago, he passed away, leaving me alone in this world. She cried. And Looking at her sorrow, even the Mahan ended up consuming a bit of her pain. So, without even him realizing, drops of tears started coming down. You know, they say a sannyasi's tears should never touch the ground. The ground will be burnt. Ground will be burnt. Okay, the sannyasi's tears should never touch the ground. So he knew that, so he's controlled himself. And then this old lady says, I am not questioning God's intentions, because there are people, when some unfortunate thing happens, they'll say, all my pujas have gone waste, all my bhakti gone waste. Okay, this is not wise. It means I am emotionally not grown up. So this is, I'm not saying nothing has gone waste, but I need manas shanti. I need inner peace. See, we asked, even after she went through the worst putra shokam, she says, I want inner peace. Please tell me what homa I have to do, what pariharam I have to do. Kanchi Mahan told her, you don't have to do any pariharam, any homa. This is in the village you live. During peak summer, do you see the laborers logging it out on the fields, tilling the soil, doing physical work in that hot sun? Every day, please take a huge glass of buttermilk and feed them. Cool them so that you will be cooled yourself. Okay? So there are pariharas available when you are going through a lot of pain. See, it's easy to say dukkha will come, sukha will come, all this will come. But when it comes, only the fellow who's bitten will know. There was a fellow who says, the mountain is not a problem, sir. I am prepared to cover any mountain. The problem is the pebble in my shoe. The pebble in my shoe is the problem. So only that person know what's the pain. So we are not here to judge anybody and say, you are not handling sukham properly, you are not handling dukkham properly. We are not supposed to do any judgment on any other person's functioning. It is for me. If I have got a dukkha in my life, if dukkha comes in my life, when dukkha comes in my life, everybody will have our share of dukkha. When dukkha comes in my life, how is Shama supposed to function? I am supposed to say, this dukkha is an effect. The cause lies in the past. And I am some way instrumental in that cause. What happens suddenly? When this is your thought process, what happens? You will no longer blame any other person. Normally, when I come face dukkham, what is my thing? Oh, I am so innocent. I am so innocent. I was not doing anything at all. They came and harmed me. Innocent. You had your own share of mischief. You definitely had your share of mischief. If not now, in the past. So either we will blame people, but we will blame our. I'm not successful. Why? Because my father-in-law is not rich. If nothing else works, we have three planets you can blame. Shani, Rahu, Ketu. And if you know a little astrology, you can add. This fellow has gone into retro. Yeah, you can say so many things. The world is a convenient place to blame. You can hang your pegs of blame on all the pegs. You can hang your blames on so many pegs that are available there. If you had Shama, you will say, this dukkham has come to me. It's an effect of something in the past in which I was involved, either here or earlier. Therefore, I don't blame anybody. What do I say? Kadaksha Kiranachanta Nama. I have surrendered. Therefore, evaporate. May all this pain evaporate. Let the pain be there. I have no problem. Let the suffering evaporate. I never go to Ishvara and say, take away my pain. I tell Ishvara, look at the wisdom when Shama works in you. Shama work பண்ணாலே wisdom வந்துரும். Than stitikshasva, wisdom will start. When I go through pain, my Shama says, Ishvara, thank you for the pain. It brought me closer to you. If it were not for this pain, I would have not ever known that this pain, that you were the person, source of all help. If it were not for the pain, I would have not known that these were my vulnerable areas. I was so proud. I was puffed up in pride. Thanks for this pain. Push, hawa nikal gaya. I am feeling lighter now. The moment you have Shama, what will happen is pain management, you suddenly become light. You become light. There is a lightness in your system. Lot of baggage is lost. In the costume, you throw away the baggage. Otherwise, what will happen? You will carry the baggage, costume will be remain, but all the impressions will be carried into the next costume. And there you will not even know why this pain has started coming. So, Shama. Shama is a qualification. Next, Dama. Dama is Chakshuradi Bahyendriya Nigraha. These are Matra Sparsha. Matra is sense organs. So, Dama is employing the sense organs in such a way that Shama is achieved. See, your eyes, all your sense organs are placed outside. They are all placed outside. Therefore, suppose somebody says, withdraw your sense organs, it's just not possible. You can close your eyes, but can you close your ears? Even if you plug, some noise will come. Can you close your nose? Nose? They say, next door neighbor makes masal vada, you have already smelled it. So, sense organs cannot be controlled from contacting the sense objects. What is Dhamma? The reaction comes. There is a moment when the contact sends a reaction to the brain. Okay? The brain gets these reactions, that is looking at the science side. Here, when the matra, sparsha, when the sense organs touch the objects, there is immediately a reaction. What is the reaction? Raga, dvesha. I like, I don't like. Raga, dvesha. So how do you employ? You immediately employ two filters. Vairagya, vivekam. Is it good for me? No. Then I initially deliberately avoid the contact. That's why they say, somebody says, would you like to have a, what do you call? It's very often they say, no, would you like to have a drink? The teacher says, say no to the first drink. Can I have the second drink? And when you say no to the first, who will offer you the second time? So there are certain, you don't say, let me try drugs for fun. Okay. You are very conscious about what you eat. Okay. You're very conscious about what you drink. Why are you not that much aware about what goes into your brains? What kind of thought processes are being entertained? So Dhamma is using your sense organs in such a way so that mastery of mind is achieved. Raising the bar. Initially, you tell Vivekam, no, I should not do this. Vairagyam, please let me dispassionately not do. Close. It is like, you tell that somebody told a child, I'm going to take you through this place. You should not ask for anything. The child is holding the father's hand and all the beautiful toys are here. The child is not looking. It is deliberately looking away. That is the initial stage. But as you progress, even as you are looking at the shop, you say, fine, all very beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful. It is like many of you walking past a Rolls-Royce car, enjoying and walking. You are a pure Vairagi there. It doesn't bother you. So, we work on what is called Vairagyam. Initially, it is Vairagyam by deliberate vairagyam. Thereafter, vairagyam becomes automatic. It becomes spontaneous. Shamadama achieved because it has become, and just mind you, a lifelong process. It's a lifelong process. Shama, Dama, Uparama. Uparama is another thing, means accepting your station in life. Swadharma, acceptance. Some people say, I started studying Bhagavad Gita very late in life. That fellow got the advantage of early. I don't have this. I don't have this. I wish I had this. I wish. And you have something, why don't you start? There are so many things which are working for you. Start working on that. Uparama is accepted. Accepting yourself as you are is Uparama. Now comes the fourth one, Titiksha. Shita Ushna Sukha Dukkha Adi Sahishnutvam. So if Shama Dama works well, what will happen to Titiksha? Titiksha is no longer tolerating anything. Titiksha is accommodating things. Like for instance, how will Chennai be in the month of May? Hot. So you can't say I should have Switzerland climate here. How will North India be during winter? Very cold. Accommodate. You accommodate. Accommodate means it's not that you're not willing to do anything about it. You do what is required to be done. You don't mentally will and wish that things be different. I wish I did not have this problem. I wish I had done it on that day. I wish I had done it on that day. It shows lack of titiksha. So Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha. Shraddha is Guru Vakyeshu, Vedanta Vakyeshu, Vishwasaha. What does Vedanta going to do for you? It is a pramana. It's a looking glass shown in front of each one of you. Vedanta is going to come and tell you that you are free. You are a Mukta Purusha. You will not become, you are. You are a Mukta Purusha. Pramana. That's we told. And how will that knowledge be? Knowledge is always in the form of words. The Guru will employ the words. He will make you see the words. He will make you see the meaning behind the words. Guru Vakyeshu, Vedanta Vakyeshu, Vishwasaha. And all you have to do is to surrender the mind which has Shama and Dama and Titiksha to the Guru. And when you do that, knowledge takes place. And what is the knowledge? Aham Brahmasmi. Ahamasmi sadhabhami kada chinna hamapriyah. Brahmaiva hamatas siddham Sachidananda Lakshanam. So, Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. Samadhanam is focus. Once upon a time, long time ago, I found people found it very easily to concentrate because of lack. They didn't have too many gadgets. These days, there is one gadget, okay, and this gadget has app which has destroyed your focus. The first thing in the morning is you are checking your messages. Even as you are doing meditation, what the kanala message? I don't know who they are cheating. Before bedtime, messages. Somebody sends me a message, 1:25 at night. What must be the fellow doing at 1:25 at night? Sending messages. I must not be the only recipient. There may be so many people. So, Samadhanam is focus. Today's times, this Kali Yuga, as of today, is ailing because of lack of focus, lack of clarity, lack of focus. Lot of people, when I talk to a lot of youngsters, why only youngsters? I talk to a lot of elders also. I find when something is missing, there is no focus. Okay? Simple focus. Somebody has a house, well, first class 3-bedroom, beautiful flat. well done in some of the posh areas of the city. A fellow wants to buy, looking at other prospects. Why are you buying? This is for my son. Okay, done, fine. That is also purchased. Then again he is looking for some other property. I said, what are you going? No, this is for my grandchild. Daughter. Daughter side grandchild. There is no end to your artha kama pursuit. And he says, I don't have inner peace. So with every apartment that you acquire, what will come? Three things will come with you. Sukha dukkha mishritatvam. Okay? Atripti karam. Bandhi karam. Okay, suppose I say, tomorrow we are having a Vedanta class and tomorrow Krishna himself is coming to take our session tomorrow. Krishna is coming to see me and I am bringing Krishna over to you. Just assume, okay? Who knows, it might happen. No? It's all Krishna's will. One day he decides, say, come on, we'll go. So Krishna comes. When Krishna comes to Arjuna, why can't he come to you and me? So Krishna comes. And we have this fellow who has got 5 apartments. And I announce, a tomorrow special Krishna session. Will you come? Sir, actually there is a pipe burst in my granddaughter's house. I have to go to repair the pipe burst. Ceiling of the I have to go repair. See? Bandi karam. Then you'll say, I spent 3.5 crore rupees for this. What is the dissatisfaction? I am not able to live in this flat. I am living in a 1.5 bedroom flat in Indonesia, Jakarta. You look at it, Atripti karam. Sukha dukkha mishritatvam. What is the mishritatvam? I want to sell, it won't go. It will always be like that. When you want it, you will get. When you want to sell, it won't go. Because it's anatma, nature of anatma. So you tan sthitiksha. Going back, matra sparshastu kaunteya shita ushna sukha dukkadaha agama apayinaha tan sthitiksha bharata. So when in life pain comes, pain will come. When pleasure comes, many of us are happy with the pleasure, but when pain comes, you say, my prarabdha karma, even your good luck, good job is also good luck. Your good luck is also prarabdha karma only. Good luck is also prarabdha. Let me share with you a great prarabdha, good prarabdha karma I had. I was working in Kolkata in a private company. I must have told this story so many times and I got a lot of appreciation and people said, oh, you're really a fortunate fellow. So then I used to work in a small company in Kolkata, and the afternoons there used to be a peon. I used to give the peon those days 2 rupees, the 70s, mid 70s, 2 rupees. 1 rupee for, he will get a bread toasted and applied with butter, sugar, very tasty. And 1 more rupee for a fruit, some seasonal fruit. So this was my tiffin. That's all I could afford. The rest of the day go hungry. Survive on tea. So this was the tiffin. And I have a habit. Even today I have a habit. If somebody rolls something in the paper and gives to me, I unfold the paper and see what is written there. Okay. So that day after I finished my bread, I had that, kuyaparam. Kolkata kuyaparam is it is not a total ripe. Sutta param, sudada param. Remember story. It's a sudada param. Okay, that's how the kuyaparam was given. I had the kuyaparam, we spread some, that masala in between, very tasty. After I unfurled the sheet, the paper said, Reserve Bank invites applications. I applied and got a job and retired from the Reserve Bank. See, kuyaparam brought me Reserve Bank of India. So, Ishvara may appear in your life, will come into your life in any which form, you don't know. So, agama, apai, okay. Anityaha, they are very temporary. Tan stitikshasva. We are very worried that certain things end. Unless chapter 2 ends, unless chapter 1 ended, chapter 2 cannot begin. Unless verse 10 ended, verse 11 cannot begin. I will always be stuck in 10. Suppose we did Bhagavad Gita And for 1 year, I kept telling stories to you only about Warfield. Would you like it? After some time, we are now 16. About 1, 2, 3, 4 minus lapado. Something has to end for something to start. Okay, the caterpillar has to die for the butterfly to come out. The cocoon has to break open. See, we are all so unhappy about the pain that we face in life. It was a very beautiful story I read. There was a young boy who saw a cocoon, and in that cocoon, he was watching it carefully. Every day, the cocoon used to crack some little. One day, he found a wing emerging from the cocoon. The fellow was so overcome by compassion that he said, "Oh my God, there is a beautiful butterfly inside. I must release it." He brought out two, very delicately using the with some, that alpin. What is that called? Staple pin. Not even, it's not pin. He gently opened the cocoon. Out came the butterfly. The butterfly could not fly at all and remained a crawling worm for the rest of its life. Because the process of breaking the cocoon open is strengthening its wings. The child, in its initial, kicks its arms and legs so that the limbs become stronger. Every fall hardens my physical. Every hurt strengthens me, not hardens you, remember? Every hurt strengthens you. Every insult makes me humble. Every time I fail, it should make you look at life. Hey, did something go wrong? Do I call myself a failure? It's a reflection. Every dukkha is supposed to make you, every shita ushna, every pain is supposed to make you think. Dukkha can come, but the process of dismissal of dukkha should happen. One in knowledge. The incidental dukkha is one. You can dismiss it differently, but the fundamental dukkha has to go in knowledge. This will happen. Tanstitikshasva. There are three faculties in us. There is a karta, there is a bhokta, there is a jnata. Karta does. Bhokta enjoys or suffers. There is a jnata, knows. Every time you are going through sukha, dukkha, keep the faculty of jnata open. By this sukham, what am I really gaining? By this dukkham, what is the lesson I am learning? When you go through sukham, understand this learning. It is not the object that is giving me happiness. It is not the event which is giving happiness. It is not the person who is giving me happiness. It is in the presence of these objects, my sense of kurai, the lack is gone, the vacuum is gone. Therefore, I see my Atma in its glory. This is how you are supposed to look at Sukham. Hey, I am seeing myself in my full glory because at this moment I don't have a vacuum. So the object has not given me joy. I am now a state, in a state of mind where my own glory has come up. In dukkha, I am in a state where my glory is eclipsed. Start thinking this pattern. I assure you, when I come back to you next Friday, your life would have changed. Start practicing every day. Anytime dukkha comes, will come. When dukkha comes, when pain comes, tell yourself, what am I going to learn from this pain? Please understand that this dukkha is clouding my glory. Sukha in the sukha, my glory is revealing itself. Look at sukham and dukkham differently. Thereafter, it becomes entertainment for you. They say, there comes a point in time when sukha and dukkha lose their grip on you. For you, it is okay. Where I am the role player. I am purely the role player. The roles are going through all this. The roles have to go through all this. The roles have to go through all this because it is the nature of the role. Role means there is a script. There will be ups and downs in the script. That's the nature of the role. Father, there will be a problem with the father. Some problems will be there. Mother, problem. Husband, wife, some problem will be there. Together problem, separated problem. Hmm. See, this is the way the world is. This is called accommodations. Dans titikshasva. This is beautifully said. I will read the next verse and then we will read it in detail, see it in detail the next week. Okay. Verse number 15. Yam hi navyatayante te. Let me go to verse number 15. 15. Yeah, first, yeah. Verse number 15. Yeah. Let's read. Yam hi navyatayante te. Yam hi navyatayante te. Purusham purusharshabha. Purusham purusharshabha. So whole line. Yam hi navyatayante te. Purusham purusharshabha. Once more. Yam hi navyatayante te. Purusham purusharshabha. Next line. Sama sukha dukham sama dukha sukham dhiram sama dukha sukham dhiram somamritvaya kalpate somamritvaya kalpate. Whole line. Sama dukha sukham dhiram somamritvaya kalpate samadukha sukham dhiram somamritvaya kalpate. Whole line, whole verse. Yam hi navyatayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram somamritvaya kalpate. Quickly, word meaning. Okay, yam, whom, he, indeed, na vyatayantyete. So, Yam Purusha, the Purusha who is not distressed. Okay? Oh, Purusha Shabha, he is saying, Arjuna is glorifying Arjuna. Okay? So, Sama, we all understand. Equipoise. Dukkha, Sukham. When Dukkham and Sukham come, you are balanced. Your balance is not disturbed. Okay? Okay, what happens? Saha, that person, amritatvaya kalpate. Such a person becomes free. Such a person is ready for self-knowledge. When the pair of opposites, when the pain and pleasure stop sinking their teeth on you, a lovely expression I like. Stop, lose the power to sink their teeth on you. They do not distress you anymore. Saha amratitvaya kalpate. Understand that you are eligible for Atmajnanam. Lifelong process. Okay, it's a lifelong process. We have to work for it. We have to work for it. Okay, in our next session, we will do Matra Sparsharsu Yam Hinabhyatayantyete, and we will try. So something we could try doing this week. Nobody can say I am pain free. When pain comes, let's run this thought process. This one. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayino nityaha tan stitikshasva bharata. So tell yourself, oh so and so, this is the nature, the roles you are playing will bring you these pairs of opposites. Take them in your stride. And if they no longer distress you, understand, you will really appreciate Aham Brahmasmi. You will be, that knowledge will start working. What is that? Ahamasmi sadabhami kada chinna. That will work for you when you are no longer distressed. So put it the other way, when that starts working, you will also no longer be distressed. Either way, okay, this way or that way, unknown. Okay, start running that thought. When a pain comes, is a role is having a problem. Okay, to a beautiful step. This is something you can practice. There is an event happening in your life. Okay, when the event happens, close your eyes for 2 minutes. Do dhyana of Gita Acharya Krishna and step back. See the characters in front of you. See the behavior of each character in front of you as as a person watching out from the stage, not in the stage. Get up or down from the stage and watch. In the situation, what he did was right. He should not have said like this, but because of this background, because of his samskara, he said like this. This person is actually a good man. He should not have reacted like this. Now put yourself also. Don't say, I should have not reacted like this. Given that situation, this person reacting like this was perfectly okay at that point of time. What will happen? Detached. Your pain and pleasure there free. You are immediately no longer distressed. You are no longer distressed. And Amritam, you have already got free from all the problems of the role. Imagine you are seeing a very tragic play. You will come out and say, Yenama act panna. What a superb acting. So look at the teaching. You can try practicing this. Okay. Similarly, when custom comes, custom will come. When custom comes, your prayer is, I am not praying for any less pain. Okay. The pain has come to me is an effect of the cause which lies in the past. Oh Lord, I am happy I am able to come closer to you because of this experience. This situation happened because Viveka Vairagyam did not work. Oh Lord, may I have Ishvara Anugraha all the time with me so that Viveka Vairagyam works for me. Try this prayer. Try this prayer. Every day. Every day. Phone Marakama we charge. You charge your phone, you charge your laptop, you charge your this. Why don't you charge this equipment? This is the Antakarana, primary equipment. If this equipment is charged, Atma's functioning, his instrument is fine, good instrument is here. Connect Antakaranam to the Atma. Atma can be here, Atma can be there. Connect, charge. And we will look at the coming chapter, coming verses in our next class. Oh. Let's chant the Shanti Mantra. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Subhamastu Mityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalinim Desho Yam Chobarahitaha Brahmana Santo Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santo Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai Ho स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो सब संतों की जय हो पवन सुत हनुमान की जय हो बोलो बजरंग बली की जय जय हो जय हो जय हो जय हो yeah if people have questions we can take it
good evening Atimer I have a couple of questions
yeah
so I have several goals, several ambitions,
okay,
and when I put it down on paper, I can broadly classify them into three categories.
Okay.
They are either possessions or positions or relationships.
Okay. Wonderful.
Now, Yeah, my mind is again churning a lot. How do I go about pursuing these goals within the framework of the Bhagavad Gita?
Wonderful, very good. So our young man here, Adrit, is my nephew, is asking me a very beautiful question. He says, I have ambition. My ambition can be put into three categories: position, possession, and relationships. After listening to the Bhagavad Gita, after listening to this, he says, I am being churned. How do I pursue it within the parameters of Bhagavad Gita, within the lessons of Bhagavad Gita? First of all, a young man asking this question is wonderful. Okay, it's a wonderful question. It brings the best out of the teacher only when you ask such questions. So all your position, possession, and relationships come under the category of artha and kama. So, keeping the roles that you are playing in life, artha kama pursuits are valid and relevant. You only have to keep it in mind that when I am pursuing artha and kama, I align it with my priority of following correct ethical and moral values, and keep my long-term life goal of cultivating inner peace and happiness. So my relationship, is it affecting my moral value? My position, my pursuit of a position, is it affecting my moral value? My pursuit of possessions, is it affecting my moral value? Will it have an impact in my ultimate goal of being a happy and a peaceful person? Please ask these questions and write down the answers. These questions are answered in several parts of Bhagavad Gita. When we do chapter 3, we will see something called Karma Yoga. It will exactly tell you how to pursue everything. We'll see Karma Yoga. We will see how the teaching of Bhagavad Gita can actually come into your life in running all this. But please do this exercise. Try to see that the pursuit is in line with your main goal. The main goal being, I must be a morally upright person. I must be an upright, integrated person. Okay, that is my main goal. And I want to be an upright and integrated person because I am an educated guy. People look up to me. In the long run, why in the long run? Even in the short run, I would always like to have inner peace, harmony, and happiness. Keep this and see that all the goals fall within this straight line. In today's competitive world, it's a little difficult. But remember, it's a battlefield. You will be constantly fighting the Bhishmas, the Dronas, and the Karnas. Okay? Don't be afraid to wield the bow. And please come. Satsang is going to be one strong weapon for you to handle the whole thing. Be in the satsang. There are so many wise people here who will also help you answer your questions. God bless. May you be blessed by the teaching.
Thank you so much. I will certainly go through the recordings several times.
Yeah, please do.
My second question is also very much related to the first question. So, Duryodhana grabbed Arjuna's possessions and the Pandavas' possessions, stripped them of their positions, and subjected their bodies to 13 years hardships.
Right.
And Sri Bhagavan Krishna only says the possessions, positions, body, etc. Will not be permanent, and they don't have an inherent capacity to give us joy. Yet, after reading the Bhagavad Gita, why does Arjuna still fight the battle?
Wonderful, wonderful. Adrit's question is again, he says, their possessions, their positions, and everything was affected. They were in 13 years of exile. Bhagavad Gita says none of this is permanent. Why did Krishna say fight, and why did Arjuna decide to fight? Well, that was Arjuna's question. Okay, that's why two verses become very important. After the Gita's teaching is unfolded, Krishna says, do what you think fit. Yatha ichhasi tata kuru. Arjuna's clarification, I mean, he's got so much clarity that he says, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do what you taught me as fit things to do. So here we have to understand that roles have certain, there is a script in the role, and the role has to follow the script. It is script in as much as it's a dynamic script. There is something called dharma, there is something called universal value. And Arjuna, being a leader, being a person who the whole society looks up to, he's a Raja, he's a Kshatriya, his job is to protect dharma. So if he did not do his dharma, he would be setting a bad example to the society. So knowing fully well, let's say as a Brahmagyani, you go and fight in the borders against China. There you are not going to talk Brahma Vidya there. You say, see, Ishvara has given me a role to play. The role is that of a soldier defending the border of my country. I will play my role well. We need Vivekam and Vairagyam. We need a certain clarity of thought. The clarity of thought is, this is the knowledge and this is how I am supposed to apply the knowledge. This is my knowledge and these are the demands of the role. I shall play the role the role will be, I will perform the responsibilities of the role, keeping the knowledge in mind. That's how we look at it. This is a short answer for you. In due course, as we do go further, you will definitely discover better answers. Answers which, yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah.
See, after hearing your things, explanation, I thought use dharma for the society's sake, not for your own sake.
Wonderful.
So, Suya Dharma and Samuga Dharma, they are different.
Wonderful.
Don't confuse that.
Yeah,
so, when you are doing what? You don't follow the Dharma for your sake. Dharma, the Adharma. It comes to the society, act towards that.
Wonderful.
I thought, is okay my experience and my explanation?
Excellent explanation. Sita Lakshmi Madam has come speaks. She says that there are two dharmas. There is something called Samanya Dharma, which I have to do for the society. There is something called Vishesha Dharma, very often, which is again, special dharma. As long as my dharma is aligned for the welfare of others, and not only for my welfare, my action automatically gets a certain purity. So do with more welfare of people in mind. Your possessions and positions, yes, they give me a lot of pleasure. But if I'm doing it for more people, if more people benefit, that's why, there's a speaker in the US, he's a very brilliant speaker. He says, when you are doing something, please ask yourself, what is the purpose? Okay? What is the purpose? What is your belief is in making the other man's life better? That's a purpose. But if you are working only for money and glory, it's called a result. So pitch your achievements towards fulfilling a greater purpose in life. It will give you a lot of self-satisfaction. Excellent. I'm so happy these questions are coming up, because only by asking questions we are going to learn. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Hari Om. And we will meet again the next session. Oh.
Okay.
Namaste. Namaste. May Krishna bless you.
Namaskar. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar.